Okay guys, so for those of you that need to replace your rear view camera on a 2011 to 2015 model year Ford Explorer, this is all you've got to do. I'm going to show you. It's about a 15-minute job. If you're having the kind of like antique looking photo, the grainy photo in the backup, your camera won't turn on, it stays black, you get the contact dealership, and you've been told that you need a new camera, or you just want to replace the camera. The cost of the camera is about $100 on eBay. You can get it from your dealer. It would probably be more, but just go on eBay, get the camera yourself, and replace it yourself. That is all you've got to do. You see, that's your back lift gate. This piece here is that chrome or silver trim that is on the back. This here shows what you have to do when you get that chrome or silver trim off the back. So once you remove that, there is one screw, which is the purple, labeled number 2. There is a retaining clip, which is the green, labeled number 3. Number 4 is the camera, and 5 is the camera clip. That's all there is to do. So let's scroll down here a little bit, and you will need to open your lift gate. Open the lift gate, remove the left hand and right hand lift gate body molding nuts. Alright, so as you open the lift gate and you look up, there will be a nut on the left and the right hand side. That blue part is the silver trim. Go ahead and remove the 2 nuts on the left and the right hand side. Next step, close your rear hatch. Right there, you can see this is where your license plate would be. This is your rear view camera. You see the purple. There are 4 bolts. Remove those 4 bolts. You'll see them. Now after you remove those 4 bolts and the other 2, that's all there is. There are 2 clips. There are 2 clips on the left hand side and 2 on the right. There are a total of 4 clips that are still holding your trim to your vehicle, and they just pop off. Once you get the trim piece off, the camera is mounted to the trim, then there is the rest of it. The purple is the screw that holds a retaining clip. You'll see that once you look in there. The blue being the camera and the other purple being the camera connector there. There is your camera. So once you remove the screw, you'll have to maybe get you a little jeweler's screwdriver and pop this retaining clip out. Take your finger and push on the outside of the lens here and push the camera back through. That'll remove the camera and the connector. Pop that back out. You'll be able to separate that by putting a screw in. Screwdriver. Okay, so we'll try to run through this thing real quick. On this vehicle, you need an 11mm socket, a 10mm. You'll need a jeweler's screwdriver, some type of socket or wrench, and you will need an extension. Show you how quick this is to remove this thing. We'll go step by step. So you're trying to replace your camera. There is the silver or the chrome trim that we were talking about. So step 1, go ahead and open your lift gate. Alright, so with the lift gate open, you see there's the chrome badging right there. That's that silver chrome Explorer portion. Alright, so let's just see where it's at. Step 1, remove those bolts from both sides. Okay, on this vehicle it's an 11mm. Just go ahead and remove that nut. Okay, with the nut removed, alright, remove both. I'm only going to do one side. You can figure out how to do the other, and really you only need to do one side, and I'm going to show you why. You don't need to remove both. If you want to remove both, you can. Once you've done that, go ahead. Let's say, okay, you've removed both of your bolts. The hatch here by your license plate, you'll see that you've got 1, 2, camera, 3, 4 bolts. Okay, those are the 4 bolts that I will show you in the illustration. Go ahead and remove those now. So let me go back here. In order to remove that, you may need, that's where the extension will come in to get in there. It's a little bit too close to try to not use an extension. You'll probably mess up your paint. So at this point, use that extension. Go ahead and remove the 4 bolts there. Alright, so I removed 2 bolts. There would be 4, and I'm sorry folks, I'm switching back and forth. I'm only removing half of the trim. Half I'm going to leave up. If you want to remove the whole thing, that's fine, but it's not necessary. That's why I keep switching back between 2 and 4. But I've simply removed the 2 bolts on the left hand side. That's all I'm doing. Okay, and that's it. They're here and here there are 2 clips. So once you remove the bolts and you try to pry that off, we'll go right here. Remember, I removed the left side. We'll come up. You see how it looks like it's stuck. It's not coming off. It's not coming off. It's not coming off. Okay, it's no problem. It's just a couple clips there that pop. So just get your hand under there and just from this point just work it straight. Work it straight out, and those clips will pop out. See? That's all it is. It's 2 clips on the left. If you're removing both sides, it's 2 on the right. So that's 1. That's 2. Okay, that's it. There's the first nut we removed. You've got 2 clips that pop. This just goes in there. It's not connected as like a guide or to center it, and that's it. And I'm sorry, I take that back. You will have to remove the 4 bolts. You don't have to remove. So we'll go back in here. 1, I got those 2. You will have to remove all 4 bolts, but you do not have to remove the other 2 clips or the other nut on the side. Okay, so you have to remove all 4 bolts and then the 1 nut there on the side. And if you want to go, I have not popped these, but remember there'd be 2 clips on this side like there was on the other side, and there would be that 1 additional nut there when you open the hatch. I'm not removing all that, saving time. I'm sure you're smart enough to figure that out. Remember, we had this popped. You had those 2 clips there, all right? And that's it, and this flexes out enough that you can get in there and you can work. Okay, if you want to remove the other 2 clips in the bolt, make it easier, that's fine. Do what works for you. Alright, so there's the electrical connector to the camera is referenced in the illustration. There's that screw. Okay, and there's the retaining clip. That is a 6-point screw. So I'll go ahead and remove that and take that retaining clip off so you can see it. So to remove that screw for the retaining clip, it's going to be a little 6-point screwdriver there, bit, and this one is a T20. Alright, the one that's missing there, it's a T20. Also, a bit of caution, if you remove the whole trim, be careful when removing your trim. If you remove the whole trim, you will have wires, your license plate light wires that are holding that, so you will not be able to just take it off without disconnecting the wires. So in other words, be careful of the bottom of the trim, because that's going to lay down and hit your paint. So you either need to cover that, tape the bottom of that, or do something, but be mindful of your paint. If you leave it connected on one end like I have, it will hold it, okay, but once you remove it, you see that will drop down. You see how that is? Okay, you don't want those pieces in there scratching your paint, so you need to go ahead and either tape those or don't let it touch. Friendly tip or something that's easy is, if you have it like this, it's hanging from one end, if you have to walk away from it, lift it up and just take the that part there, and don't push the whole thing back, but just take that, and now that will stay if you have to walk away from it and it's not scratching your paint. But just be real mindful of that when you're doing this. Okay, so let's get back in here, finish this thing out. So the way I'm gonna do this, and I will need two hands, so I'm gonna stop it, but there's the screw. We'll just use this 6-point bit, and we're going to remove it. I'm just going to take my socket and put a socket over the end, so I can make this kind of L shape coming out and remove that. Obviously, if you can put this in, you can use some type of wrench on that. Whatever you have to do. If you don't have the tools to do that, or don't feel comfortable doing it this way, then you can go ahead and remove the whole thing, and that way you could just come straight in there with something. But for ease, time, simplicity, I am just going to use a socket, and with that little T20 star head, and I'm going to remove that screw. So I'm just going to take my socket, and I've just got that that is on this, it's a 7mm, and I've just got the star head stuck in there loosely, and I'm just going to take that and go in behind and use this to remove that screw. And you could take a pair of, if you've got like the vice grip pliers, and grab that star head bit and use that to remove it. But this is the way I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do that. I'll get right back with you. Okay, there's the screw, so we're just going to go ahead, remove that. Alright, that's the screw in the illustration. So we'll come back. Here is the retaining clip, and I've already replaced this camera. It's going to take a little bit, but I mean, you can see it right there. This piece is what you have to remove. I'm going to stop the camera because it's going to take me two hands, but I came up under this top tab here and just used a little, that's what the jeweler's screwdriver is for. Just, you need to pry that out this way, so to the left of this video, and up, kind of up and out. It's going to come out on an angle. You know, it's got a little bit, it'll move. You can see it moving slightly, but it's not going to be enough, and it's too much of a pain to try to do one-handed. I'll probably wind up breaking something. So once you get in here, do what you have to do. But just on this top tab, just put the screwdriver in behind it, pop that up, and then kind of up and out. Okay, so I got that clip out. It took about 5 minutes. It was sitting in here this way. This is the piece that you saw covering the wires. This piece here is where I said put the jeweler's screwdriver under there. Obviously the screw hole, and it just sits on top of the camera like that. It is not going to come out easy. Take your time. Just that's going to be the pain in the ass part, is removing that clip. But just take your time with that. That's how it was sitting in So when you look at it, that's where the screw would have been that you removed, and it would sit like that. Just take your time and pry it out, but just really take your time and be gentle. It's going to make you just want to rip it out, but just take your time, be gentle with it, and that's it, folks. You're in there to get your camera. Here's the electrical connector. The white label there is the camera. Just to remove it, right here to your lens, and push. Alright, there's the camera. Just push on the lens, just push it back. You see how that's gone back in there, and as you push it, you can see that it pops out. It's moving, and just slight pressure and just work it out. Okay, once you push it out, that's it. Okay, there's the camera. There's the connector. To separate, you would have to lift this up. You could use your jeweler's screwdriver and slide it down in there. You know, it's got one of those little tabs. I'll remove it and show you. Take your jeweler's screwdriver and just slide it right in that connector. Push. Get that up, and okay, screwdriver, and bam, camera comes out. There's your connector. Okay, and there's the camera. Alright, so in your case, that would be the old camera. This is the new one. In my case, you see with the electrical connector, that's where that clip went over. It's got a little piece. That's when you have to put the screwdriver in and lift up to get off that notch. And they should have a little label on the back there, if we can get it to show. Too much light, but anyway, it says Ford part number 19G490AA, but each of them will have a little label there, and it's got a manufacturer number. This one says 4/6 of 2016. So obviously you take your old camera out, you put your new one in. So we just go back, do the reverse of what we did. So you would get the orientation of your camera, get it in there. It should just slide right in. It'll click. The connector will be back. It'll click, and then just work it. Ease it back down. Okay. And there it is, it's back in. Okay, and just do everything in the reverse. So I'm gonna put this clip back on to show you. Alright, camera's in, that's how it should be. It should be flush. If it's not flush there, the camera is going to show up the edges. You'll have a black ring around your screen instead of the regular square. So that'll let you know it's not in all the way. But put that in. There's that screw hole. Orients this way. The clip goes over the camera. try to do this thing one-handed. Well, anyway, that's how your clip would go back. You'd have to get it in there, seat it, put your screw back in that screw hole, and then you would be done. That's it, folks, and your camera would be replaced. Hope that helps you. Have a good night. Okay, guys, so once you've replaced your camera, one last critical piece that I forgot to mention in the video: you will have to take your vehicle into the dealer even after you have replaced the camera in order to get your active park lines to start working again. So I'm turning the wheel now, left, right, right. You see the dotted black line is not curving and the white park lines do not come up. That is because you have to get your camera configured once you replace it. So once again, once you replace the camera, you will still have to take your vehicle into the dealer and tell them that you need to get your active park lines configured for your vehicle. Thanks. Hope this helped you. Hope you saved some money. Have a great day.